Political views. Keep a base.
Okay, guys, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share. Right, hit the subscribe button. It's right here. Rock down. Yes, the Attorney General of the Federation, Latif, said that no law in Nigeria prohibits the prosecution of minors. The Nigerian military have been exonerated from claims of human rights abuse by the National Human Rights Investigative Panel of the Commission. Good morning and welcome to Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifeanyi Shuku Ekezie. Lateef Fagbemi explained that no law prohibits the prosecution of minors in court. He gave credit to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his compassion to pardon the minor protesters of the End Bad Governance and also empowered them at the same time. You are listening to Political Views on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making rounds our political space this morning. Stay with us.
Azụmahịa bụ nnekwu ohere ewepụtara maka ịkwalite ebe ife mmetụ aka gị ma ụlọ azụmahịa gị. Mara na ihe dị mma n'anya bụ nwanne. Kedu uru oge ndị ime ahịa ga-abara gị?
Uru oge ndị ime ahịa ga-abara gị bụ site n'oge ndị ime ahịa, ị ga-enweta nnukwu ohere akpọrọ diskaụnt n'ọnụ bekee maka ịkwalite ebe azụmahịa gị. Mara na ya bụ ohere ga-amalite mgbe ọbụla ebe ọ na-adị wuchiri kpọmkwem n'ime ahịa.
Kedụzi ihe ị na-eche? Gbapụ ya ọsọ kpọtụrụ ndị 103.5 FM n'akara ekwentị ndị a na 08065796599 ọzọkwakwa na 08065796599. Oge ndị mahịa, oge nnekwu ohere.
The challenges of documenting memories in the 21st century is gone. When you have Ebona, the 103.5 FM here, what are you celebrating today? Birthdays, wedding anniversary, traditional wedding, chieftaincy conferment, or fala, etc. Approach Ebona, the 103.5 FM OGIDI today to document your event. Ebona, the 103.5 FM offers you live coverage of your events on radio and social media, video and photo coverages feature on magazines, photo books, and others, news coverage of political and other events. Take this offer and receive a complete coverage. For more information, call or WhatsApp 08065796599 or you visit Ebona the 103.5 FM OGIDI opposite Ogunike Boys inside Leovin Residency Hotel OGIDI. Vacancy. Are you a DJ? Do you speak English and Igbo language fluently? Submit your CV and the letter of application at Ebona, the 103.5 FM OGIDI, opposite Ogunike Boys, inside Residency Hotel Leofi OGIDI, on or before Friday, 15th of November, 2024.
Data you need to.
Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Nabakoa production.
My business is mine.
When I will tell you AGJ radio drama, Erico. Akụkọ ihe AGJ radio drama Erico gonna every Monday 8 o'clock p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Saturday 3 o'clock p.m. Now, Ebona, the 103.5 FM.
If you move and finish your business,
I'm not going to do what you are. I'm not going to do that.
You're welcome back to Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. And on this edition, we are talking about the fact that Attorney General of the Federation, Latif, said that no law in Nigeria prohibits the prosecution of minors. The Nigerian military have been, exonerated from claims of human rights abuses. All of these, will be the cause of our discussion on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I remain Martin Ifan Shuku Ekezie. You will remember that Latif gave, credits to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his compassion to pardon the minors, minor protesters of the End Bad Governance protest, and also empowered them at the end. A lot is happening on the corridors of power. It affects you and me. So let me bring you up to speed on the happenings on our political space on this edition of Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. The headlines. On our headlines this morning, Tinubu Diri underscores media's role in nurturing democracy. Obaseki dissolves cabinet ahead of handover. Leaders must not serve personal interest. Shetima. Otti justifies Labour Party's abysmal outing at the council polls. Tinubu, Southeast governors orders bid Ubunaya Onu goodbye. High demand for foreign goods responsible for nation's economy. Lawyer dumps Abuja boat driver after apology to lawmaker. Enugu businessmen orders Lord Tinubu over grants, loans. Ohaneze youths urge Soludo to end leadership crisis in APGA. NLC seeks a federal government's intervention over alleged forceful eviction of workers. UN Security Council seat. Nigeria rallies West African countries. Now, the details. The first story we have for you on this particular edition of Political Views on Airborne at the 103.5 FM is Tinubu Diri underscores media's role in nurturing democracy. President Bola Tinubu has said that the democracy that Nigerians enjoy now would not have been possible without the media. He urged media practitioners to continue to hold elected and appointed government officials accountable in a manner that strengthens the nation's democracy. Speaking at opening ceremony of the All Nigerian Editors Conference in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, Tinubu, represented by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said his conclusion was based on the fact that he was privileged to be in the thick of the pro-democracy struggle with a front row view of how it played out. Indeed, in this room are many veteran journalists who played very important roles in ushering in the age of enduring democracy in Nigeria. I salute your individual and collective efforts, not just at that time, but even right through to today, as we celebrate a quarter of a century of unbroken democratic experience, he said. President Tinubu noted that in any thriving democracy, the roles of the government and the media are intertwined, stressing that both are essential in serving the public interest. And of course, the media has a duty to hold elected and appointed officials accountable and ensure that we are doing our work in a manner that strengthens the democracy, not weakens it. The important work must be done in a spirit of mutual respect and collaboration and not recrimination and opposition. This alignment enables us to achieve common goals that benefit society at large. Indeed, our roles are most effective when they are not adversarial but cooperative. By viewing each other as allies in nation building, we can create an environment where transparency, accountability, and mutual respect thrive. Together, the government and the media can empower citizens, strengthen democratic institutions, and build a more informed and resilient society, the minister stated. Remember that you're listening to Political Views on Airborne at the 103.5 FM for you in order to become part of the conversation. Send SMS or WhatsApp messages on 08065796599. And still on the stories making rounds at political space this morning, Obaseki dissolves cabinet ahead of handover. Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo has dissolved his cabinet ahead of the November 12th swearing-in of Senator Monday Okpebholo of the All Progressive Congress as the new governor of the state. Newsmen reports that Obaseki, who came into office on November 12, 2016, is expected to end his 8-year tenure on November 12, 2024. Obaseki dissolved the cabinet shortly after a validatory session held at the government house on Friday in Benin. The motion for the dissolve of the State Executive Council for 2020-2024 was moved by his deputy, Godwins Omabayo, and was seconded by the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Osilama Okuofu. At the validatory session, the governor commended members of the council for helping him in driving the government's vision of making Edo great again. Obaseki also commended the citizens of the state for supporting, praying, and collaborating with his administration throughout his tenure. Members of the cabinet took turns to eulogize the governor and acknowledge his many achievements in various sectors. They also commended the governor for the opportunity given to them to serve the people of the state in their various capacities. The outgoing commissioners and heads of ministries, departments, and agencies also took turns to present awards and gifts to honor the governor. Still on our political space this morning, leaders must not serve personal interests. Shetima. Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged Nigerians, especially leaders, to exemplify true leadership by prioritizing community service and legacy building over personal gains. He urged Nigerians to prioritize spiritual obligations and community service over personal interests in an era where people are becoming more individualistic and giving less a premium to God. Speaking yesterday during the inauguration of the Ibapon Central Mosque in Ogbomosho, Oyo State, the Vice President, in a statement by his spokesperson, Stanley Nkwocha, expressed concern about the shifting societal values in contemporary Nigeria. Today, the world is unfortunately marked by a mindset that values self-interest over selfishness, and many see giving back or even engaging in spiritual obligations as burdens or distractions, Chetima said. According to him, the mosque, a multi-million naira project built by Senator Abu Raftai Omotayo Buhari, representing Oyo North Senatorial District, is a gift for generations that stands in stark contrast to prevailing materialistic trends. Every second of our lives is a reminder of our impermanence, and the brevity of life underscores the urgency of filling our days with deeds that matter in the hereafter, he added. And the next story we have for you this morning on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5FM, is Otti justifies Labour Party's abysmal outing at council polls. The governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Otti, has said that he remains a strong member of the Labour Party despite the abysmal performance of the party in the just concluded November 2nd election in all the 17 local government areas in the state. Otti, banquet hall, Government House, Umuahia, the state capital, during his monthly media chat with journalists and citizens of the state, attributed the Labour Party's poor polls to be the unending internal leadership crisis that has bedeviling the party in the state and at the national levels, respectively. According to Otti, he was aware that his supporters were leaving the Labour Party to contest the local government election in another political party, but couldn't stop them from joining another parties and pursue their political aspirations, political party platforms through which people achieve their political aspirations. I am still a member of the Labour Party. I authorized my followers to join any party of their choice. The crisis in the Labour Party made the people abandon the party in the last election in the state because of people have a descending mind. Speaking on a possible release of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, Otti, who said that he would not make public comments some of the steps he has taken to push for the release of IPOB leader. However, went ahead to discuss that he has been engaging the presidency over Kano's continued detention, stating that Kano, who is also an Abian, would soon regain his freedom. He went ahead to disclose that 10 persons involved in pension fraud in the state will soon be arraigned in court. This is even as he hinted that plans were underway to repatriate other accomplices from their respective countries to hide out to Abia to face their trial. Still on our political space this morning, Tinubu Southeast governors orders bid Ogbonnaya Onu goodbye. The body of the late first civilian governor of Abia State and former Minister of Science and Technology Innovation, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, has been laid to rest in his country home, Uburu, Ohozara local government area of Ebonyi State. President Bola Tinubu, Senator Anyam Pius, a former secretary to the government of the Federation, 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Alhaji Umar Ganduje, governors Alex Otti, Francis Nwifuru, and Peter Mba were among the prominent Nigerians that attended the burial. Other personalities who attended the burial include Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State, who was represented by his deputy, and his Imo State counterpart, Hope Uzodinma, represented by his deputy, former Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, former Rivers State Governor. In his tribute, President Tinubu, who was represented by Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, described Ono as a permanent gentleman who lived a selfless life and contributed immensely to the development of the country. Tinubu noted that the late former national chairman of the defunct All Nigerian People's Party, AMPP, would be remembered for the great sacrifice he made for the unity and progress of the nation. He recalled that Ono played a significant role in the formation of the ruling All APC and prayed to God to grant his soul eternal rest in his paradise. Francis Nwifuru, governor of Ebonyi State, in his remarks said that the late Onu played a vital role in the development and the unity of the country. Through every role he held, he demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the ideals of justice, development, and unity. He pursued equity and social justice till his last breath on earth. Nwifuru noted that the late Onu dedicated himself wholly, not just to building infrastructure while serving as Abia governor, from where some part of Ebonyi politically and sociologically grew, but to build people, uniting communities, and elevating the voices of those who often were unheard. He was a patriot, dignified politician. The national vice chairman of All Progressive Congress, Dr. Ijoma Arodiobo, while paying homage to the late Onu, described him as a patriot and dignified politician. Still on our political space this morning, high demand for foreign goods responsible for nation's economic woes, says Cleric. The visionary of the African Jerusalem Ministry, Prophet Gideon Adebare Owoseni, has identified high demand for foreign goods at the detriment of the locally produced products as one of the factors hindering the socio-economic growth of the nation. Owoseni, who is also the founder of Solution Assembly of Cherubim and Seraphim Church Ibadan, made this declaration while unveiling the spiritual pool of Bethsaida at the church premises. Owoseni noted that the nation's attitude towards locally made products has discouraged indigenous investors, with the restaurant effect being the growing rate of unemployment in the country. Citing China as an example, Owoseni pointed out that the leading economic nations of the world are the promoters of locally made products. The cleric, who disclosed that he got the vision of the pool of Bethsaida from the Lord, said he has been instructed to replicate the same in Nigeria. I have been to Israel on pilgrimage on many occasions. It was during one of the visits that God instructed me to replicate his experience in Nigeria. The pool of Bethsaida is not only the project we have, there are other spiritual sides. People all over the world have been coming here for spiritual assistance, and God has been so faithful, he stated. Still on the happenings on our political space this morning, lawyer dumps Abuja boat driver after apology to lawmaker. The law firm representing Stephen Abu Seya, the boat driver who was assaulted by the House of Representatives member representing Aba North, south of Abia State in the National Assembly, Alex Ikwecheg, during a package delivery, has withdrawn its legal representation. The withdrawal notice was contained in a public statement cited online by our correspondent. The letter, dated November 8, 2024, was signed by Zainab M. Ortega, Esquire for Deji, Adeyanuju, and partners. The letter, titled Public Statement on the Alleged Assault of Mr. Stephen Abu Seya, Withdrawal of Legal Representation, reads: We wish to formally announce the withdrawal of our legal representation in the case involving the alleged assault of Mr. Stephen Abu Seya. On October 28, 2024, Mr. Stephen Abu Seya walked into our law firm visibly distressed and sought redress over an alleged assault. Following his complaint and having verified his claims, we took steps to protect Mr. Stephen Abu Seya's rights on a pro bono basis, culminating in the arraignment of alleged assaulter. However, in view of recent developments and after careful consideration, we made the decision to withdraw our legal representation in order to protect our professional integrity and maintain the highest ethical standard in the legal profession. We wish Mr. Stephen Abu Seya the very best, while we assure the general public of our continuous commitment towards protecting the rights of the oppressed and indigent members of the society. Abu Seya had, in a video statement released to the press on Thursday and seen by the nation, by newsmen, apologized to lawmakers for his actions. He expressed his regrets for provoking Ikwecheg and asked Nigerians for forgiveness. Still on our political space this morning, Enugu businessman orders Lord Tinubu over grants, loans for MSMEs. Farmers, traders, and businessmen in Enugu State have lauded President Bola Tinubu for the 200 billion naira presidential grants and loans scheme for micro, small, and medium enterprises. They said the loans and grants had improved their businesses, leading to expansion. Speaking during a town hall meeting on presidential grants and loans scheme for MSMEs in Enugu, the beneficiaries, especially those that got the presidential nano business grant of 50,000 naira, noted that the schemes is never a scam but will with seamless protocol that made the grant access easy. Mr. Uchenna, a livestock farmer from Udi local government area, said that he invested the free 50,000 naira grant he collected through the presidential grant on expanding his livestock business, and God really blessed me with the grant. I used the money to buy 2 hybrid piglets and their fees about some months ago. As I am speaking with you, just last week, one of the piglets gave birth to 4 piglets, while the other one, her pregnancy had reached an advanced stage and was getting ready to deliver as well. The grant helped me, and I can earmark what is used for it and its benefits to my business today, NSL. Mr. Chikezie Igwe, businessman dealing on provisions in Aningri local government area, said the presidential grant had enabled his provision business to survive the harsh economy as the home went into his business directly. The money was like God sent, as it assisted me greatly to continue in business even when the cost of restocking my provision items went up at a time before the many came. Before the money came, Igwe said. Mr. Julius Azi, a sachet water producer in our Obu local government area, said that the grant given to him was used to meet production needs of his factory. The next story we have for you this morning, Ohaneze Youth urge Soludo to end the leadership crisis in APGA. The Ohaneze Youth Council, the premier social cultural organization of Ndibo youth worldwide, has urged Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo to reconcile with Chief Edozie Njoko's leadership of the All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA and avoid establishing precedents similar to those set by Governors Peter Obi and Willie Obiano. National President of Ohanese Youth Council, Comrade Ibayaka Ibayaka, in a statement on Friday, called upon the Governor Soludo to invoke the Onyahara Nwaneya, don't leave your brother principle, and foster unity within APGA by adopting a no victor, no vanquish stance, backing Chief Edozie Njoko's leadership following the Supreme Court's APGA leadership ruling. APGA's prolonged internal party leadership crisis persisting since 2019 is a lamentable and unfortunate phenomenon in Nigeria and Africa's political landscape, he noted. Ibayaka said that the leadership impasse in APGA is attributable to internal democratic deficits, underscoring Governor Charles Soludo's reluctance to accept the Supreme Court's judgment, which validates Chief Edozie Njoko's position as APGA's legitimate chairman in 2023 and subsequent recognition by Independent Election Commission. It is unfortunate that APGA, established on Igbo principles by Chief Chepas Okolie to launch Ndibo into national politics since 2002, has faced considerable obstacles due to exploitative politicians from Anambra. Still on the stories making rounds our political space this morning. Labaja, I regret obtaining NDA form for late Chief of Army Staff, says a family head. Pa Tajuddin Labaja, the head of the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarodi Labaja's family, has regretted obtaining Nigerian Defense Academic form for the deceased. He said he wouldn't have obtained the form if he knew his life would be cut short. Other family members who are still dazed by their illustrious son's death alleged that he was killed diabolically because of a land dispute in his hometown, Ilobu community. It will be recalled that there was a dispute in Ilobu, headquarters of Irepondu, local government area of Osun State in 2023, when delegates of the Nigerian Army planned to site a hospital in the community. Speaking with the newsman, Pa Tajuddin Labaja, younger brother to the late Chief of Army Staff's father, disclosed that he was the one who obtained the NDA form for the late Lieutenant General. The distraught family head said, "Everybody who is born must die. We give glory to God. The year that I obtained the NDA form for him, if I had known that he would die before me, I would have not done so. I regret obtaining the form for him, but it is destiny. The death that killed Tarodi Labaja ought to take him. Yeah, I took him as one of my children. We are greatly bereaved. We are sad. He constructed a borehole in his father's compound and other places in the community. We can never forget him. His death is so shocking to us. I have accepted the fate. All the promises he made to me have hit a brick wall. He always gave us hope in the family, despite the sorrow. I give thanks to God, he stated. And the last story we have for you before you can call in and tell us what you think of all of this is UN Security Council seat. Nigeria rallies West African countries. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, has concluded his diplomatic tour of West African countries, which was aimed at strengthening bilateral relations and soliciting support for Nigeria's bid for a permanent secretary seat on the United Nations Security Council. In a statement issued on Friday in Abuja, the minister said the move was part of the Nigeria's broader foreign policy objectives, which prioritize promotion and protection of national interests, African integration, as well as international cooperation. In the course of his visit to Togo, Tuga discussed investment opportunities, especially in phosphate, which is used in fertilizer production. Nigeria has numerous fertilizers blending plants, and Togo's rich mineral resources present a lucrative partnership opportunity, he explained. In Guinea-Bissau, the minister spoke on the need for stability and harmony, acknowledging Nigeria's ongoing support by way of troop deployment and mediatory efforts. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is committed to ensuring Nigeria's continued role in promoting regional peace, he said in the Gambia. In the minister reminisced on the long-standing relationship the country shared with Nigeria. He also highlighted Nigeria's importance in the Gambia's development, particularly in education, through the development of technical aid corps of Nigerian professionals. Cote d'Ivoire, described as the significant economy in the economic community of West African states, was the minister's final destination in the country. Deliberations centered on strengthening economic ties, particularly through the Abidjan-Lagos trade and transport corridor. The two countries also explored partnership opportunities in cashew production and other agricultural products. Well, there you have it. A lot is happening in our political space, and we must talk about them because it affects you and me in one way or the other. Aminu Balele, Chairman House Committee on Army, urged the Nigerian military to sustain the legacies of the late Chief of Army Staff, Labaja. He asked them to continue from where he stopped. Meanwhile, the governor of Edo State, Obaseki, declared that he is not scared of EFCC. One of the major things that we will look into on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM, is the justification coming from, the governor of Abia State about his party not doing so well in the local government poll. At Otti justifies Labour Party's abysmal outing at council polls. So we need to look into this. His justification about, the political crisis rocking the party and how it affected the outcome of that local government poll. At the same time, we are also looking into the fact that Ohaneze Youth is asking the governor of Anambra State to end the leadership crisis in the Apuga as a party. What is your take on all of this? The numbers you will call and then you become part of the conversation is 080 6579 You can as well send SMS or WhatsApp messages on the same number 080 6579 6599. Let's hear from you right now.